right, so I'm just getting home. I was actually at the middle's house just now, just helping them out, shooting some stuff. Some of you know I used to be their video guy. I still sometimes help them out, like here and there, but anyway, that's not really what I wanted to talk about today. If you haven't checked out the middles, go check out the middles. Crazy middles, they're awesome. You know, crazy pieces, all of them. But today I'm dealing with some drama. Actually, I just asked Jared and Shelly of the Crazy Middles, you know, some advice on the whole situation because it's just so frustrating, you know, and they have so much parenting experience. So it was really nice to chat with them a little bit and really kind of get an idea of what I should do here. Let me fill you in on the whole story. So, as many of you know, Dex is, for some reason, I don't know how, because Cynthia and I are not school people. We're not academic people at all. We both did horrible in school. We didn't care about school. I ditched school most days. But Dex is not like that. I mean, obviously he's only in kindergarten, but at the same time, like even when he was 3 years old, he would love his little workbooks, and I'd be like, hey, you want to go outside and play? He'd be like, no, I'm doing some math homework, you know. I'm like, dude, you're 3, you don't have homework yet. But he loves it. All of a sudden, he doesn't want to go to school. All of a sudden, and I do mean like 2 weeks ago, huge change. Cynthia and I both noticed it. We were kind of concerned, you know, at first, like, I mean, maybe just a little bit at first. I thought maybe he was just tired, or he had a weird night's sleep, or, you know, maybe he's just like, it's the same old thing over and over again. He's extremely intelligent. He's extremely smart. He's the top of his class, and I don't mean like one of the, he is the top of his class. His teacher is very open about it. And he understands the curriculum well beyond. And so I thought maybe he was just getting bored with it. And I don't know, like, he's always been so into school, and then all of a sudden, he just didn't want to go. And he was open with me. He's like, I don't want to go there anymore. You know, I don't like there. I don't like going there. And, you know, I mean, come on, how many parents haven't heard that? So I just was like, okay, well, you know, everybody's got to go to school, buddy, you know, like, but I tried to be open with, you know, like, okay, well, what's the problem? And I started asking questions, and he really wasn't responding to me. He wasn't giving me what I could tell wasn't the truth. I could tell that he was holding something back. And then we started to notice it more and more when we would show up to the school to drop him off, because we always walk him in, and there's this whole flag ceremony or whatever that we are, you know, we watch and stuff. And the second we'd get to the school, his entire demeanor would go down. And we were more and more, day by day, concerned. Like, something's going on here. And then yesterday happened. Just to give you an idea, when we first get to the school, there's this whole period where he's allowed to just go run and play, and all the kids run and play, and then obviously they blow the whistle, and then they do the flag ceremony. So we got there a little bit early, and so he had more time to run and play, and he met up with like one of his best little buddies or whatever. I'm not gonna say any names, but he's walking around with this little guy, and the two of them are kind of palling around, and then his friend, his bestest little bud, starts to run out onto the big field. And hold on, let me back up. In this little whole area, there's kindergarten, first grade, second grade, and third grade, okay? So mostly the littler kids, the kindergartners, kind of play in the sand area and the, you know, the cemented area, and that's kind of there. And then I noticed that there's definitely like more of the bigger kids out on the field, the grass field. And there's some little kids out there too, and everyone's just playing with the balls and kicking the soccer balls around, and it's this grass field. You know, it's chaos. There's kids everywhere, right? And I see it. Cynthia and I are watching this happen. His little buddy runs out onto the soccer field and turns around, and Dexter stopped at the grass field. And I'm going, what? Like, what's going on? You know, and I can't hear what they're saying, but I can see the body language, and his little buddy's like, come on, you know, like, come on, let's do it. And he is like, Dexter's like, no. And he's dead stopped, like he's not going out onto that field. And so now I'm like, as a dad, I'm like, what's going on? Dexter's really good at soccer. He loves soccer. He loves that sport. He crushes. Like 3 years old, he could dribble the soccer ball down the field, and we go play soccer all the time. So I'm very like, what's going on? This is weird. And so his friend finally, after trying a few times to try and get him to come out on the field, he gives up and just goes and runs off and does kid stuff, right? And then Dexter just stands there watching his friend go off and stands there and waits. And so now I'm like, okay, now I went from concern to like, okay, I'm going to go find out what's going on. So I walk over there and I took a knee right next to Dex. And I'm like, hey, what's going on, buddy? Like, your friend was trying to get you to go out onto the field and you didn't want to go. Why aren't you going out on the soccer field? You love soccer. You're good at soccer. And I know my son well enough to know that he was holding something back from me. He was like, well, I don't know, nothing. Like, no, I mean, I don't know why. Like, he just wasn't giving me the truth. He wasn't telling me what was going on. And so obviously I'm like, no, I'm not accepting this anymore. I'm going to find out, like, okay, buddy, I need you to be honest with me. Like, tell me why you don't want to go out on the soccer field. Is somebody being mean to you? And he paused and I don't want to exaggerate, it was like 10 seconds. And I'm sure you can imagine like it was just 10 seconds. But in that conversation, 10 seconds pause is a lifetime. You immediately know something's up. Somebody's bullying my son and I need to get to the bottom of it. I don't know if it's one of the bigger kids or something happened, or maybe Dex is like, because he's a little smaller than some of the other kids, so like, I don't know. Is he just, he hasn't hit those growth spurts that some of them have, or did one of the big kids say, hey, you're not allowed to come out here anymore? I have no idea. I know kids are tough. School's tough for kids. It's especially difficult, like I said, if you're one of the smaller kids. I don't know. And Cynthia and I are in this dilemma right now. Both of us were really upset to see this happen to our son because, for her, it reminds her of her childhood school time and, the anxieties and the potential depressions. I mean, literally, I'm not exaggerating. Hunched shoulders. You guys have seen Dex. He is animated and happy and he has this light about him. And then all of a sudden we would get to the gate of the school, or sometimes even just pulling up to the school, and it would be an immediate demeanor, just, okay. And I'm going, something's going on, and I want to get to the bottom of it. And so I chatted a little bit with Jared and Shelly of the Crazy Middles, and I've been calling anybody that I know that has dealt with this kind of thing before, and just chatting with friends and anybody that has parents, and just trying to get to the bottom of it, because I gotta protect my boy. So we're at the pool, hanging out. Oh. What are you guys doing? There we go. It's our Friday. Nice. This is what we do. This is what we needed. How you doing, buddy? Is the water nice?
It's so.
Yeah, it's like a 4. Hold on. We really needed some pool time, some grill time. Maybe now I can talk to Dex and see how things are going. So that didn't go great.
Yeah, not much info from him there.
But really, I feel like there was info because there were some big pauses there, and I don't mean to like read between the lines here, but like there was some really big, like he was like, that kind of stuff. And I mean, it was a really good sign that he went out on the soccer field. It must have happened later in the day because when the story that I told you guys, that was early in the morning. That was right when we were dropping him off that happened.
Yeah,
and I talked to him. So effectively, I assume maybe at lunch recess period, he actually went out onto the soccer field. And the fact that we didn't even really bring up the soccer thing. And then he mentioned, he was like, I played soccer with he knew that's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
And it is good to see that he went out on the field, but even when you pressed him about, is somebody being mean, or when we talked to him about all that stuff, he kind of was like...
He didn't really want to talk much about it.
Right. He kept immediately changing the subject multiple times, so... I don't know.
Yeah, it's just so sad.
It's tough, and I think we're really at that point in time where it's we either need to figure out a final solution or go down to the school and maybe figure out who's been bothered. But then that's a needle in a haystack. How do I, And I swear, I feel like those things don't ever solve the problem.
Never.
They never do. Even if we talk to a parent and then they talk to their, or if they even do, or if anything even comes of it, sometimes that just creates more problem.
Yeah.
We
would not want that at all.
So, I don't think that's going to be the solution, but...
No, we got to find somewhere else maybe for him to be, a different school.
Yeah. Truthfully, I just, a little bit about my story. I actually went to multiple high schools, and I remember some I really vibed well with the other students, and then some it really wasn't very good. And I remember going from the schools where it wasn't very good, and then all of a sudden, boom, you're in a new school, and you're like, oh, this is nice. This is a fresh start, I get to start again, And if we were going to do the different school route, I would prefer to do it now.
Oh, yeah.
So that he can kind of get situated.
Yeah, and at least be comfortable somewhere.
Right. Yeah.
Over this place.
Obviously, we have a lot of thinking to do. I know that this vlog was a little bit more of a depressing one for Dex.
I know.
And we don't really have answers. I can't tell you what we're going to do, but hopefully in the future we'll know, and
Or at least fix it.